So one of the things I don't think I've ever told anyone on this channel is that Kendrick Lamar is one of my favorite rappers. Okay, and he has been my favorite rapper for a really long time, like for years and years and years. I have been listening to Kendrick Lamar since I came across him when I listened to Section 80, when I listened to the song Rigor Mortis. I love vintage Kendrick Lamar, and I'm loving the fact that he's getting all these new fans, and you know, people are really starting to really feel him and really see like how he's been dope for a really long time, you know. So welcome. And of course, because like it's all art to me, so I cannot listen to songs without thinking about books. That happens to me a lot. So with Kendrick Lamar's latest album that has just come out, GNX, first of all, I love the album so much. I don't even think I skip like any song. I don't think I skip any song. Like, I just love it so much. I love the space that he's in. I love the whole vibe of it. I love how Cali it is. Like, I am just loving it. So, of course, we have to talk about some books that I feel go perfectly with this album. So we're gonna go song by song. Again, these are my interpretations of what each of these songs are about, and then I'm gonna tell y'all the books that I feel coincide really nicely with them. So let's get into the video. So the first song is called Whacked Out Murals, and I really love this one because you could hear how raw he is in this song. Like, he almost sounds like his teeth are like clenched, like he said like he's literally rapping with his teeth clenched, and I love how theatric he is. Like, oh, the drama, Kendrick, right? So this song to me is very much about getting good at your craft, and basically when you get really good at your craft, people not gonna like that, and people are gonna start coming at your head, and you're gonna have to deal with that, and you just have to accept that that's what's gonna happen. And for the people that are hating, do the same thing. Put your head down and work like I do. You know, put your head down and work at your stuff like I do. This song immediately made me think of the book The Rage of Dragons by Evan Winter. This is an African-inspired fantasy novel, and in this book we follow a man named Tao, and Tao is on a path of revenge. Like, there's no other way to put it, but he is out for revenge. He's coming for everybody's head. I won't say what happens, but something happens in the very beginning of this book, and Tao is like, you know what? No, I'm not letting it slide. I'm not letting it slide. I'm sick of this. In this world, we have some people that are born of noble blood. Like, the men are able to be enraged, which turns them into these big, like, monstrous things, and they're able to really fight. They have like crazy strength, and you know, just think of them turning into the Hulk, right? The women in this world enrage the men. A lot of the power come from the women, and then you have the women. Some of the women are gifted, right? And these gifted women, they enrage the men. They also can call down the dragons, right? There are dragons in this book. So Tao is not born with any type of noble blood in his body. Tao decides that he needs to be the greatest swordsman ever. Like, he is fixated on becoming the greatest swordsman ever so that he can get revenge for what happened, right? And he has a small list of men that he wants to go after, and honestly, anybody else that crosses his path that thinks that they want to try him, you know, he got those swords for them as well. Like, this is the Tao is the definition of anybody could get it. Okay, and that is basically how this book goes. Like, he don't care what else is going on. He's wearing blinders. Like, he literally is on one track, and that track is to be the greatest swordsman. So when Tao begins to work really hard at being a swordsman, because at the beginning, baby, he is trash. Okay, he is complete trash. But when he starts to get nasty with it and people start to notice, they don't like it. So it immediately makes me think of this song, because yeah, like, Kendrick says, know you a god even when they say you ain't. And they look completely down on him and say that he's nothing because, you know, he grew up very poor. So people are like, you know, like, who is this? Tao? Like, Tao who? Like, who is this dude? You know? And Tao was like, oh, okay, well, let me show you. And that is the type of energy that I love. I love that type of energy. Like, talk your talk, Tao. Let these other warriors know that they're not seeing you. The next song is Squabble Up. And this one is such a fun song on the album. This is the one that he actually has a music video out for. And it's just so fun. There's so many little Easter eggs in the video. I feel like this song is definitely very playful, but it's also talking about Kendrick just being authentic and true to himself. It's also talking about his transformation from a dog to a wolf. And that brings me to my next recommendation, and that is going to be Animal by Kawan. So we first meet the character Animal in a book called Ghetto Bastard. And in this book, Animal is very young, which is why I make the connection to Kendrick being a dog, because Animal is a bit of a dog in this book. He's kind of like a pup, right? And then once the Animal series begins, we see him fully transform into a wolf. Okay, he starts to learn way more about the game, and he just gets smarter and smarter. And there's a lot of people that want to knock him off his square, whether it be the police, okay, they cannot get enough of Animal. They keep trying to catch him, okay? And he also has a lot of enemies. People are looking for him. He is having to hide out sometimes. Like, I really enjoy this series so much. I just really love Animal as a character, and this song absolutely reminded me of him, because despite everything that was going on around him, like, he was still, again, you know, staying true to himself, you know, and what he feel is important. Him, his girl, you know, just his whole like family life, like all of these things as he got older and older just became so important to him. And I feel like that is what's happening with Kendrick, because Kendrick's music before he got like the wife, the family, is different, you know, and now his music is more on some, listen, I want peace, I want tranquility, but if you not on the same type of stuff that I'm on, then you could get it, you know. I'm just letting you know, I don't wanna do this, but I will, because I need to remind you that you're not better than me. So the next song is Luther, and this has a feature with SZA, who I absolutely love as well. And I love this song. I love Luther Vandross. I love the original song, If This World Were Mine. So this sample with this song, it's just everything to me. Like, I could listen to this song a million freaking times. This song really makes me think about like legacy and community, and kind of like our impact. Like, even though it's a very like smooth, sexy track, like, he's saying some stuff on this song. And I think that this one really makes me think of Homegoing by Yaa Gyasi. And this is a multi-generational saga. We are following two sisters, and one of them gets married to a white man, and then the other one becomes a slave. We then follow both of their family lines all the way down to the present time. And I just love this book so much. I'm definitely due for a reread, but because I haven't read it in a while. But when I read it, it left such a good impact on me, and it definitely brings me back to the thoughts about our roots and our legacy, and you know, the impact these things have on future generations. And that is really what this book is about, and it's what this song is about. So it was very easy for me to connect it to. The next song is Man at the Garden, and this is the one where everybody is chanting, I deserve it all, I deserve it all. In this song, I feel like Kendrick is definitely talking about, first of all, one, that he does deserve it all. He is putting the time, he is dope as hell. It is also about finding yourself. You know, he finds himself, and he's also in a familiar yet challenging place, I find, in this song. And that brings me to the book Heir to the Empire by Trenae. So in Heir to the Empire, we meet a guy named Khalil, and Khalil has pretty much grown up poor for most of his life. He's now like what, 19, 20, and he is really struggling. His grandmother has been taking care of him, and he, you know, she's sick, she needs medicine, like everything seems to be falling on his shoulders. And then one day he comes in contact with his parents, and these are the parents that he thought didn't exist, okay? And he finds out you know, his parents is actually quite rich, and now he gets pulled from, you know, living in the slums to now living, you know, in a house in the hills. He's living on an estate so big that he needs a golf cart to get from the different locations that's on this estate. You know, that is how big this place is. Like, it's not even just one house. And it kind of gives a little bit of like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air type of vibes, but it definitely makes me think of this song because the song is really, again, a familiar yet challenging place, you know, finding yourself. Because he is, first of all, he grew up thinking he ain't had no parents, and then he finds out all of these things at once. It's very overwhelming to him, but he spends most of the beginning of this first book just kind of like getting his footing and seeing like, okay, where do I fit in here? Like, how can I make this situation work to my benefit? And yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. But I love this series. This is a 3-book series, and it is complete if you decide to pick it up. So now we've come to the next song, which is called Hey Now. And in Hey Now, Kendrick is talking about just his position in the rap game and how basically he knows he's at the top. He's confident about it. And he also is talking about his refusal to be exploited in this rap game. Like, he is not somebody that, you know, people could just have doing different things, you know. He is setting a standard for what it is he's going to accept and what he is not. Like, even though he has a lot of wealth, he's not willing to compromise, you know, to get it, you know. He still values his peace and his tranquility above everything else, as he was mentioning in another song. So a lot of these songs kind of have some of the same, like very similar themes, if you'll notice. Just kind of following the fact that he is not willing to compromise his peace and his tranquility, and he values certain things above money. And that makes me think of Diamond Boy by Cherae Lewis. And this book is really about a diamond heist. So in this book, we meet this man named Jireh, and Jireh is the big man in a diamond company, basically. And in this diamond company, there is one of the most expensive diamonds that he has in his collection, and that is called the Yola diamond. We also meet a woman named Charlie, and Charlie has been sent to Jireh to try to steal this Yola diamond. You know, Jireh is someone that you can't just come at him. You know, his circle is super tight. He's had the opportunity to sell this Yola diamond, but what I'm seeing from Jireh is that he refuses to sell this Yola diamond because the Yola diamond was given to his mom from his father. It is a very sentimental diamond in his family. Yes, of course he could sell it and probably never have to work a day in his life, but he values what this diamond means to him and his family. Is my point. So Charlie is sent to try to entice him so she can get her hands on this diamond, and you'll have to read it to find out if that actually works out for her. So next we have Reincarnated, and this is a song that has been making a lot of waves lately. Obviously there's a nod to Tupac's original song, and I think Kendrick is talking a lot about identity and personal growth. First of all, those themes are in a lot of books that I read. We're just gonna keep it to 2 for the sake of the length of this video, okay? So the first one is going to be The Vanishing Half by Bennett, and in this book we meet 2 sisters, and one of these sisters decides that she wants to live her life as a white woman, and the other sister continues living her life as a black woman. And we see pretty much how their lives end up, you know, how their children's lives end up based on the decision that both of these women have decided to make. So obviously a lot about identity in that book. And another one this song reminds me of is gonna be The Book of Phoenix by nnedi Okorafor. And this book is considered African futurism. This is a prequel to her other book called Who Fears Death. I didn't read Who Fears Death yet. I decided to start with this one, and I'm glad that I did. I don't feel like I missed anything, and now I'm ready to read Who Fears Death. So anyway, this one is about a woman named Phoenix, and technically Phoenix is only 2 years old, but she looks like an adult. She was made in a lab. Okay, and this book is set for the most part in New York. She is in a facility in New York in a tower, and Phoenix finds out that she is literally a phoenix, and every time she gets really hot, this is why you see like the flames here, she gets really hot and she will burst into flames and become ashes. And she literally rises from the ashes. I mean, it don't get more reincarnated than that. You know, the only difference is she's still herself when she becomes herself from the ashes. But yeah, I could not leave this book out. It definitely talks a lot about identity, and Phoenix begins to try to find herself in, you know, what kind of life she wants to live. I also love that Phoenix loves to read, so she talks a lot about that. But yes, in this book, Phoenix decides that she wants to try to escape from the tower that she's been in for all these years. She decides that she wants to rebel. She goes to Africa. She comes back to the United States. Like, she is making moves, and I was really loving that for her. This one definitely feels very much like the song Reincarnated. So the next song is TV Off, and this is the one where he's yelling out mustard. And Kendrick is he's really flexing in this song, in my opinion. Like, he's really basically letting y'all know, like, he's the greatest rapper. These other rappers is not seeing him. And turn that other crap off. You know, like, no matter how many ways they try, like the different angles, they're just not gonna get at him. Like, he is at the top. That's it, basically. And that definitely makes me think of another fantasy series, and that is going to be the Green Bone Saga. And that is starting with book 1, which is Jade City. Book 2 is Jade War, and book 3 is Jade Legacy. It is also a completed series. This series follows the Call family, and this family, they're at the top. So in this world, you have these green bone warriors, and they have this jade, and the jade is really made for them. You know, you can, like, a regular person can attempt to get jade, but they may have a very bad reaction to it. Like, they are not supposed to have it. Only a select few people are supposed to have this jade. The jade gives these warriors very special abilities, you know, with fighting and stuff like that. So it's a very exclusive kind of thing, and you have these different clans that have the jade. Even though there's a bunch of different clans that have the jade and they are warriors, the Cow clan is at the top. Like, they are the head family, you know, that have the warriors. They have a school, and because they are at the top, you have so many other clans that are trying to get at them to knock them off so that they could be at the top. I mean, the amount of political intrigue in this book is just so good. You know, people are just really trying to take their spot. They want to be at the top. We have also regular guys that are getting fake jade, that are trying to, you know, fight them to try to get the real jade. I mean, it's just so much going on with this story. It is so phenomenal. This is honestly my favorite fantasy series, period. It reminds me of a mafia movie because these clans do not play around. You don't go against a family. Like, it is it is so serious the way this series has been written. I just love it so much, and it definitely reminded me of TV Off, because the Cow family, they at the top. Everybody is trying to get a piece of them and, you know, knock them down so that they could take the spot. And is it gonna work? We don't know. You have to read the story. The next song is called Daja Blue, and I really like this song. It's not super out there like some of the rest of the songs on this album, but it's such a chill, like even like the beat, like, it just makes you feel like you in Cali. You got the song playing, you in a low rider or whatever they call those cars, like you got some cute rims going. Like, it's just a complete vibe to me, right? And it makes me think of books that I have read that have been set specifically in LA, in LA, in the hoods of LA. And the book that came to mind was Always Outnumbered, Always Outgunned by Walter Mosely. And this is not a book that's super popular, I guess because his other series have done really well. But this is actually a collection of stories about a man named Socrates. And Socrates, he was in prison for 27 years for a double murder. The stories in this collection are ones of his guilt for what he did, the circumstances surrounding what he did, and just him trying to make amends for the terrible things that he did. He doesn't make excuses. He knows that he has done a terrible thing. He's trying to make things better going forward, is what I've gathered from the stories. And you know, if you have watched this channel for some time, that I'm not a big fan of short story collections. However, I feel like I was enjoying this one because it is centered around one character. So it doesn't feel like a bunch of disjointed stories. It will take like these small moments in time after Socrates got out of prison, of situations that Socrates was in where he had to do something, you know, or not do something. It felt very Cali to me. Like the descriptions about what it's looking like, you know, over there. You know, he's living in Watts. And especially during this time period. This is in the 90s. So I felt like this one definitely fit this song. So the next song is gonna be Peekaboo. And in Peekaboo, I feel like Kendrick is having a lot of fun. Like, it is just so clear to me that he's very much making fun of other rappers for the fact that, you know, a lot of other rappers can be very superficial in the stuff that they're talking about. And it be a bunch of nothing. It just be a bunch of nothing. And Kendrick always says that his music is the ones that empower us and set us on fire. A lot of other rappers' music just gonna, you know, make us dance. But they ain't really talking about nothing. And that is what he's talking about in this song. Also, like how social media, you know, people can put up these facades. These are all things that, yes, are true. And it immediately made me think of the book The Spook Who Sat Next to the Door by Sam Greenlee. Because in this book, we are following a man named Freeman. And Freeman is a black man that infiltrates the CIA for his own reasons. When he infiltrates the CIA, he puts together an entire profile that he believes the CIA would have of him. So it's like, okay, so this is what you think I would be, so I'm gonna be this for you. And he would have one side of him that he showed them, that he allowed them to see, and then he would have another side for when he really was himself. You know, they never got to see the real him, because when he wanted to put a rebellion together, he didn't want them to see it coming. Everything about this book I just absolutely love. I think that both of these talk about the fact that people wear masks, you know, and just talks about authenticity. You know, that is another thing that Kendrick was just talking about. Like, y'all not talking about nothing. You know what I mean? Like, this is all fake stuff and I'm not with it. Basically, another book that comes to mind is definitely going to be You Will Never Be Me by Jesse Q Sutanto. This is actually a thriller, and this is about two mommy influencers. And in this book, we definitely talk about how influencers can be a bit fake just for aesthetics. Like, if they think that that's what people want to see, then they're going to try to put a story together so that it all looks aesthetically pleasing. And that is what was going on in this book. I won't get into the specifics, but yes, that is definitely what was going on in this book. And there's definitely some jealousy going on here. I really enjoyed this. This was a fun thriller. This was a fun one. The next book is The Heart Part 6, and I really love this song. This is a song where Kendrick is telling us his journey. Like, he is talking about his journey before he, you know, before he got put on. How he was just there to support his rapper friends. And, you know, he looked up to them. And he was just, you know, just there for the ride. Like, it wasn't even his thing. But he was just, you know, just around, like, happy to be in a room and stuff, you know. And it was nice to just hear him talk about, like, just what his journey has been like, the before, the after. And that brings me definitely to the Book of Harlem by Bernice McFadden. This is a book that I finished not too long ago, actually, maybe about a month ago. And this is a book that follows a man named Harlan. You know, him searching for himself. You know, he's really trying to find himself and what it is that he was going to be doing in the world, how he was going to be showing up, what kind of man he was going to be. This also talks about him finding it, you know, after he done searched for it. Now he's finding it and he's being this person, and it seems like he kind of gets into a sort of groove, and then he loses it again. You know, something happens. This is a historical fiction, and this book touches on, well, not just touches on, this book definitely dives in to what happened with Black people during the Holocaust. What was happening with Black people during that time? I wasn't surprised for the most part, but I had not read a book where it discussed what happened between Black people and the Nazis. You know, how did they see Black people? I didn't think that they saw us very favorably, but you know, I just really wasn't sure. And this book definitely shines a light on that. And then this book also talks about Harlan's rebirth. Again, a book about the journey. This book absolutely fits, and if this is a song that you really enjoy on this album, you would probably want to pick this one up. The next song is gonna be GNX. So in this song, Kendrick talks about embracing his own unique path, and I feel like that really seems very similar to Parable of the Sower by Octavia E. Butler. In this book we meet Lauren, and this is a post-apocalyptic book set in 2024. Yes, in 2024. And this one is also set in Cali, and there has been a complete disaster in Cali, to the point where it's like every man for themselves. There's not a lot of food, like there are shortages of everything, and Lauren is really having to forge her own path, her own community, you know, her own religion. Like all of these things she's having to try to do from scratch because of, you know, all the, like, it's just like she's just throwing away everything that, you know, she knew before. And, you know, because of everything that's taking place, she has to just start everything from scratch. And she definitely meets a lot of challenges, a lot of pushback. But yeah, this one definitely feels like GNX to me. So the last song is Gloria, and Gloria, I'm gonna say I like all these songs, but I love SZA's voice on this song. Kendrick is talking about his pen, but he's talking about it as if it's his girlfriend, like he has a love affair with this pen, and it is talking about his, you know, he is an artist and he does have a love affair with his pen. That is how he creates, right? This song is just talking about creativity, you know, and really the search for a higher purpose within his creativity, you know, because things have changed for him. As I said before, you know, he is now a family man. The things that were important to him before as an artist are no longer important to him. Now he is seeing everything through, like, okay, so, you know, my kids, like everything is about, you know, my family and my kids, you know, the legacy that I'm going to leave. And so it seems like he's kind of just vibrating on a higher frequency, you know, nowadays. And that makes me think of Gucci Mane, the autobiography by Gucci Mane. And you might be surprised about this one, because they don't, you know, they have nothing similar regarding rapping or anything like that. But the reason why I will give this one is because when you read Gucci Mane, you will be surprised to find out that it is very much a story of redemption. And, you know, just showing the crazy things that Gucci Mane was into, the beefs, the drama, like all of that stuff, and how at the end it's kind of like, I need to change. You know what I mean? That is a story of redemption, and I think that more people need to read it. It's actually a very good book. I would like more people to read it, and I feel like you would get to know Gucci Mane just a little bit more. just a little bit more. And when you see him now, you're like, okay, yeah, you know, he's looking good. You know, he's got his woman. You know, everything seems to have changed for this man from from the Gucci Mane that we used to know, right? So it definitely makes me think of that song, Gloria. So we have reached the end of the album. I really hope that y'all have enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give me a thumbs up, and if you're new here, make sure you subscribe for more bookish content like this, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Bye.